Right, Loki, don't fucking chill,
Yeah, that
please.
looks like nice.
All right, ready? Three,
Yeah,
two, one. Hello there, and welcome to the newest Marvel podcast, where we are the Fantastic Three. I'm Dean, and I'm joined with Ashley
All right, guys.
and Reese.
Hello.
On this podcast, we'll be diving into all things Marvel. We'll be looking at fan theories, debunking the newest trailers. Please like and follow and subscribe on all forms of our social media at TF3Pod. Listen along on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and watch on YouTube as well. You will find us under the name The Fantastic Three. Today's episode is all about Morbius and Moon Knight. Right, where are we going? Where are we starting?
Morbius first, isn't it? Got to
Morbius?
Yeah, Morbius.
be. Yeah.
Right.
What have you got? What have you
Well,
got?
Ash,
Just who do you think, or what do you think? What universe do you think it's set in?
I hope it's Andrew Garfield.
Do you
I
reckon?
think it'll be Toby.
I think it's going to be Toby, but I hope it's Andrew Garfield. I feel like he needs a full film.
Yeah, I reckon
Yeah.
they'll do it like they'll sort of make this as like the starting point off for his full film.
Yeah, and I think it'll be
I
quite
reckon they've-
cool if they're
I
all in
reckon
that
they've got
kind
other
of
things
universe.
for Andrew Garfield. I reckon they've got other stuff for his universe lined up, you know.
I
I
reckon.
reckon that I think that after his lines in the film, you know, that he's been on a
Loki,
darker path
Loki.
and things like that. I reckon they're just
Yeah.
gonna put different things in for him, you know. I think we might see a Dark Spider-Man. I'm not, you know, I don't think.
Reckon they might link-
Won't, but
I was going to say, to be fair, you could talk about Spider-Man. You could go into so many
Yeah,
different things.
exactly.
So they stick
Yeah.
with
let's stay
Morbius.
with Morbius today.
Stick with
yeah.
Morbius, then we'll go into it. So we know he's a vampire.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
given.
Yeah, he was a scientist at first, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Well,
because
still is,
he's
and
got
then-
a skin. He's got a condition, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got a condition. I forgot. I haven't read the comics for a while, to be fair. So
No, I know he
I mean,
issued
it's
him
all like
Spider-Man
a
102, I think.
isn't it just like
Yeah.
a muscle destroying disease or something that's just eating away at him?
yeah. Yeah.
I know he's
Who's
adopted,
playing- Is it
or
Jared
he-
Leto? Is it Jared Leto playing him? It is, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
That's good. It's a good cast, that, you know, for a
Yeah,
character
it's gonna be.
like
It's
that.
gonna be good. I reckon it's gonna be quality. I just don't
I mean,
understand.
it's got-
Like you all said, I don't understand when it's gonna be set because you got the Vulture,
Yeah, from the MCU.
Yeah.
and
you
then
got
you got
Oscorp from Andrew
you got
Garfield.
yeah, and then they're said now people were saying that obviously the Spider-Man in the photo that's the cat toy. He's I'd rather it go off.
Is that
and
the
not play.
Spider-Man in the photo?
Yeah, innit?
Is the cat toy?
But no, I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, Loki.
No, you're the one about the Spider-Man. It's
Yeah, in the photo, we know that's
it's
Tobey
the loading.
Maguire's
It's the loading
one.
screen from the PS3 game, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I
it's
thought
the
it
clip
was
from
someone
the
said it was
PS4
the
game.
Tobey Maguire one.
Oh, I see many things speculated. I'll go with what you say.
Oh, I don't.
I think
no,
I
don't
think,
go
I think
with
it was
that.
Tobey Maguire's. Yeah, I think it was Tobey Maguire's like Spider-Man that's spotted on the back wall. But then the thing is, at the
But
end of
then
the
Yeah.
day, is it
But then they're
gonna be that
saying,
one in
but
the
then they're
final
saying
cut?
the way the murderer is, and the way they had it in Spider-Man, like No Way Home and that, and Far
Mm.
From Home, is the same like graffiti way that people have been spraying it in that film. So they reckon it's like two in one.
Oh,
So they reckon the
Yeah.
spray paints from the MCU one, and then the actual photos from obviously I thought it was Tobey Maguire, and actually saying it,
mm.
or one of you saying it's the PlayStation game. So you never know. We're
I
never
mean-
going to get it right. There's too many different
No,
things in this
no,
one that we're
absolutely.
going to never get right. It
Yeah,
might all
but I
link
mean,
up.
there's no reason why there couldn't have been, as I said, characters from like different universe. Obviously, in Spider-Man, when they had them all coming over to the MCU and that, there's nothing saying that like they could have gone over to that. Let's say, for instance, if it is Tobey Maguire, you could have had a character from Tobey Maguire's universe go to Andrew Garfield's universe and then like spray paint the thing on the wall of what they think their Spider-Man looks like.
Yeah,
I suppose
that's
they'll
what
be
I'm
none the
Or
wiser.
like a-
wouldn't
like
they?
a
They'll still
mashup.
be here in their universe as such because it's the same town, same just with different
Yeah.
infrastructure, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean,
Because-
obviously, it's definitely not the MCU because obviously there's Oscorp in it, and obviously Norman said in No Way Home
Mm.
that Oscorp doesn't exist in this universe.
Yeah.
he did say that.
Because
Unless
it's,
it's just
it's in the Venom universe as well, because obviously it must be in some form of Venom universe with Tom Hardy's one, as he says, Iron
Yeah,
Venom
that's
at the
a
end of the trailer.
strange
That's
thing,
different.
isn't
Like,
it?
it's such a yeah, it is. It's so
It's such a
because it makes you want to think it's that universe.
Yeah.
You know that universe isn't affiliated with any other Spider-Man that we've seen because, well, not that we know, there's no Spider-Man in that universe yet.
Mm.
I suppose they're not.
But it'd be interesting to see when it's like set as well. Like whereabouts is it going to be set? Because obviously we've got Doctor Strange coming out. I mean, as I said, will something happen in Morbius that you'll be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, and then it will happen in Doctor Strange, and then you'll be like, oh, right, now that makes sense with that.
We're getting Doctor Strange first, no? Or we're getting Morbius first? What are we getting first?
Morbius is Morbius is 1st of April, isn't it? Is it 1st of April?
Is it?
He is.
Yeah, because it got delayed. We all know why it's been delayed.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
it
was meant to be 28th of January, no?
Yeah. I mean, it's been delayed so many times, that film.
Well, we also know he's an anti-hero, isn't he? He starts off as a villain, doesn't he? Or in the comics, he was a villain, and then he turned into more of a hero, didn't he? Then he went into an anti-hero.
Who's going to be the villain? Well in that universe
Who's going to be the villain? It's the cop. He gets like same powers, similar powers.
I think his name Luxius Crown. It's Matt Smith, isn't it?
And he's
Matt Smith's one?
Yeah, Matt Smith's one. He's the evil one. He's like he's like bad.
So it's sort of like how they did the Venom film when you had like Riot, when you had Riot in that one, and then you had like the evil one and the good one.
But then there's
I'm hoping it's going to be gory.
I'm sure I read somewhere there was another comic where one of them like he basically just tries setting him up every time to make him look like it's him, and it's not. It's actually him.
Yeah, the villain is he plays Hunger. The Luxius Crown is affiliated with
that's
character Hunger in the Spider-Man character in the comics.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
There's loads to do. His powers.
Spider-Man. It was in the ones in the late 90s. So the ones that we would have grown up on. I remember seeing. To be fair, I remember reading them about.
Where he was in Spider-Man 101, I think it was.
Volume 1.
I think that's the first one he come out on. Yeah. He came in.
Yeah. It must be in the 90s. It must be late 90s because I know I've definitely seen them read comics and with him in. I think we've got some in the folder somewhere, probably with a Morbius cameo in. We know that it's clearly set in something that we've seen. That's with the cop, not the evil cop that's meant to be the villain. You've got the actor from Fast and Furious. I've got his name, Tyrese Gibson, because he goes something about you saw what happened downtown. I assume that they're referencing the Venom stuff because when he says I am Venom, doesn't he? So
I just think it's such a weird line.
Like, how would he know? Because if you look at it, the only one, like, whenever in the film does he go? I mean, the only time he he doesn't say I am Venom, does he? It's the only. Like, how would he know about Venom? Because do a lot of people know? Not really a lot of people know about him in the films. Do you have obviously the henchman?
Morbius isn't a symbiote, is he? Or his powers aren't from a symbiote, are they? That's the only way It's the only way.
He's not a symbiote. No,
he's not. Is he? No, I didn't think it was.
How does he even get his powers? So is it? I know it's going to sound like like Batman, but I said I haven't watched the trailer in ages, but I remember him just going into a cave and he touched something, and then all bats like went round him, and that was it, wasn't it?
Pretty much. I think it's bit by one. Yeah.
It's Batman.
I think it's bitten by one, isn't he? But he's got a cloaking. Is it cloak? Is it the cloaking?
What do you mean?
His powers.
Yeah,
like cloaking.
That, yeah.
You can reform like areas, so around him, instead of everything having a flat surface or like edges, he can move them. So it's like he basically the room will move with him. If he was a bat,
I know what you mean.
He can move. It's weird. That's how they.
If I'm honest though, I don't. In the comics, I know that there was it was a bit like there was different ones that we saw that he got bit by this and bit by that, but I don't think they're going to go down that road. I reckon because we know he's got a bone disorder. I reckon because he's a scientist, he's going to try and cure himself, and it might be he's going to get maybe his abilities and powers that comes with maybe trying to cure himself, and he might get some superhuman human abilities. Because I know they also run a bit of storyline like that as well, where he does try to cure himself. I'm looking forward to it. It's different. It's different to what we've seen before, especially it's very
Venom-esque,
if you would say horror-esque as well, with the sort of the
That's what I'm
way
saying about the whole
I hope
Venom
it's going to be
thing.
quite
at the
violent
minute,
as well.
Which Ash?
you know,
I hope there's going to be quite a gore. I reckon it'll be a gory film, and you can't have a vampire film without it being a little bit gory.
I don't think
Yeah,
it'll be
true.
that gory. I think it will have gore purely for the fact that he has
Yeah.
to eat blood or drink blood to
Yeah.
survive. I don't think
But the
it'll
thing
be
is,
I
as
they
don't
said
know
gory
that
if they're
as
gonna
about
go-
like.
I
Venom,
don't know if they're
didn't
going to go down that route.
Yeah, I
though,
don't
you
think they're
know.
going to go
They should.
massively
They
down
could
that
do
road.
it.
Just think
Hmm.
of it
I
though.
mean, they said
Imagine
that
if they
about
did that.
Venom, didn't they? They said that was going to be like, so everyone thought that was going to be like guts and gore and everything like that, but it wasn't. I mean, it had his violent bits in it, but it wasn't like,
It wasn't like Deadpool.
nah.
But
His
think
Deadpool
about
was like
just
Deadpool
think
was
about
still
the
guts and
thing
gore.
though. If they did like Andrew Garfield as the Spider, obviously, and then they had the Venom.
I
Yeah.
reckon it'll just be
And they had
like an end
Venom
credits thing.
thing, Morbius, Blade.
Yeah, because obviously
Putting all
Sony's
them
gonna
in one
Sony's gonna
thing.
want.
That's the.
Oh,
Well, you see Blade because the
Honestly,
Midnight
though.
Suns in the Midnight Suns in Earth 616 in the comics. That the Midnight Suns team has got they are affiliated with Blades in there. Oh, who else is in there?
Who's
Trying to
Kit
think.
Harington
Blade.
playing?
I know Doctor Strange. He's playing Dane Whitman. Is it Ebony Blade? I know Ghost Rider's in the Midnight Suns, and Ghost Rider's been heavily rumored to be in Doctor Strange.
I was going to say he's been linked
And
into
Werewolf
Strange.
is a big character in the Midnight Suns, and we know that there is a Werewolf special coming out. I don't think it's going to be a long one. I know that they just said it's over a one episode special. You've got Johnny Blaze in it as well. So there's some characters that we may be looking to see soon.
There's a
in the
lot.
MCU
There's
and
a
upcoming
there's a
stuff
lot.
that's
And
now,
now
linking to new stuff.
Yeah, and now that Disney have got like now they're on Disney Plus, and they've got like, their own like just like platform just for Marvel stuff. I can just see them doing everything.
I'd love to
Everything
see
that
the
they want to
Punisher.
do, I think
I'd love
they'll
to see
go
the
with.
Punisher and all them sort of them lot. Maybe
Yeah, like
join
Daredevil. I know
Disney
because they're all
The
going
Disney
Disney
are
Plus.
Daredevil
like
and the
Punisher and all
Punisher.
that lot now.
Yeah, they're going to
Well,
Disney
well,
Plus
they're
on
rumoured.
the 14th or the
Yeah,
16th
they're going
of
to
March.
Disney Plus. So are they
So
canon
they do
now?
own it. So
Are
it's
they
literally
canon?
the only thing that they don't own is just like your Spider-Man villains.
But they'll never
pretty
own
much.
Spider-Man. I don't think.
No, they
I don't
won't.
think
No.
they'll ever own it.
Spider-Man's always going to be Sony, isn't it? It's always.
But then,
So
then
I mean, what else has Sony got?
They
Get
have
rid of
some
Spider-Man. And what
licensing,
else
you
has
know.
Sony got?
but then Sony are
Yeah,
doing the right. They're doing the right thing. At least they're allowing Marvel to use him
To borrow.
when they need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and they're allowing him
I
to
think
be
it's
in the
because they almost
storyline.
have to now. I think they almost have to because you think, I mean, pretty much every single Marvel cat superhero is owned by Disney. I mean, you think Disney
Yeah.
couldn't use like Scarlet Witch, for instance? They couldn't use Wanda until they got as soon as they got older. Fox, they spent no time in like turning her into Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be interesting to see what they do. But it'll be interesting to see what universe it's in. I still think it's going to be like a sort of a combined of everything, like like in Doctor Strange, maybe a unit like the universes just collide or something like that, and it's just like everything just gets thrown into one big blur.
The only way
universe.
we'll figure that out is it will depend on when it's set.
Yeah,
Because you never know.
It's so tough.
Because Strange comes out first, isn't it?
No.
no, Strange is after.
Morbius.
so Morbius is
April
first,
the
then
1st. I just
Strange.
checked. Yeah, I was just looking now. April the 1st. So then Strange it's Morbius and Strange, which is that that I'd like
Doesn't
to
really
say
help.
maybe there's. I know that because wasn't Strange delayed? Was Strange originally meant to come out beforehand?
They're all meant to come out like last.
Yeah,
like,
all of them were meant to be
would have
last
been
year, weren't
we
they?
would have been like on four. I think four. No,
Yeah,
I think Spider-Man was meant to come out summer 2020. I think, or was it 2021? It was. So I think we
2021.
would have been if COVID hadn't have happened. I think we would have pretty much been on like. I think
Yeah,
like the
look,
second Captain Marvel film by now.
I've just checked here. So, Strange was originally meant to be released in the 5th of November 2021.
Yeah.
So maybe there was something setting up the next chapter we've seen. Unfortunately, we're going to see before. So your Moon Knight, your Morbius. I know Morbius isn't MCU, but it's still going to link up. You know, they always link it in some way.
Well, look
or
what they did
another.
with
It's just
Venom.
what they do to
Venom's
grab
not
the
MCU,
fans. Yeah, exactly.
and we were all like,
Yeah.
it's doing its own thing, but
Yeah.
they linked it.
Yeah, I think, as I said as well, I think Sony are going to do as much as they can because obviously they're going to want to set up their own universe that they can do because obviously if they have, you think they've got Andrew Garfield, Toby, they can do all of that with their stuff, and then they can say to Marvel, "Oh yeah, you can borrow them when you want to do your thing."
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm looking forward to Morbius a lot, actually. It's
Yeah, so
something
am I.
different, isn't
Yeah,
it? We've
it
not
is
had like a
different.
horror type
No.
film. We've got so much horror coming up, especially with
Yeah,
Doctor
it's
When you watch the
Strange and
strange
the
trailer
as
of it, it
Dark
doesn't look like a
Hold.
Marvel film. Because obviously with our
With all
Marvel
the
films, we're used to sort of like all the laughy, like the the laughy sort of like jokey and all that
yeah,
sort of stuff. But Morbius looks quite dark. Even Venom, even the
yeah,
Venom trailers had a bit of the old, like a bit of a laugh in it. But Morbius is like a bit,
it looks
it's more
very
serious.
just down to the earth, where it's like you got to find out who he is,
Mm.
how he gets his powers, and then what he's all about. I don't think we
yeah.
realise how strong he is either. I think he's going to be
Yeah,
very strong because the MCU, and when they bring him out into films, they make him a lot more overpowered than they are in the comics.
mm.
So
Yeah,
I think he's
I
going to
think it'll
be.
be
I think he's
quality.
going to be quality, and I like Jared Leto. I think he's good actor.
Yeah.
I think
Do you
he'll
reckon
smash
we'll
it.
explore? They're exploring any of the Venom stuff, because there are now a few symbiotes rocking around that that universe, isn't there? We obviously saw Venom
It's hard to
in
say.
Venom Let There Be Carnage. We saw I don't know, the police officer, wasn't it? He got the
The blue one.
purples.
Or was
Yeah,
it
is it the
purple
blue
or
one?
blue? Yeah, blue.
Probably the blue one. Obviously, we know Carnage is now in Venom.
Yeah.
We know that there's a symbiote left in the MCU, which I reckon, I linked a few, I reckon it's going to be Agent Venom who goes to Flash. I reckon that could be one that we could see. Like, I reckon that's where we could see Miles Morales and Tom Holland, sort of that be the end of that. So not the end, but the next step, maybe introducing a Miles Morales, There's a few symbiotes, rocking around. I reckon hopefully Venom might explore Morbius might explore what the next step is for Venom, maybe in the end credits or post credits, whatever we got. I thought I saw a thing online that they reckon that we could have two end credits, a post credit and an end credit. I'd like to see two, but
Yeah,
I
I would rather too.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get.
just
I
think
think
there's
with
so
the
much they can.
Morbius one, I think it's going to be something to do with the Venom symbiote they got left in the MCU. I think
I reckon it will. Oh, I don't know, because you know what they're like. They normally leave things like this, and it'll be at the end of like 4.
Yeah,
They'll
you're
leave
saying
it
so,
because it's
yeah.
just happened. So they'll leave it, and it'll be at the end of like a Disney Plus one or something like that, and it will come out, and then they'll see it then.
Yeah.
They'll leave it off, and it'll be something like that.
Just like a surprise.
I've just looked online. Apparently, it's been rumored that Morbius has been reportedly revealed to have 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah, that's
so that's good. That's good.
One of them will probably. I reckon one of them. I genuinely think that if a Spider-Man does turn up, I reckon they'll do a similar thing like they did with the end of the Venom end credits, where he like looked on the telly and saw. Like, I reckon the whole way through this Morbius film, they're going to tease you, and it's going to be like, what universe is this set? And you're going to be sitting there thinking, oh no, it's set in this universe, and then you're going to see something else. It'll be like, no, it's set in that one. And then right at the end, they'll just bash out a Spider-Man, and then you'll go, right, it's set in that one.
Yeah.
Or they might have just like Tobey Maguire might just walk past the screen or whatever.
I think they'll go with Andrew. I just feel like they're going to go with Andrew Garfield. I feel like they have to. I think it's the best one to go with.
Well, he said, didn't he? He turned around and said, he goes, hey, what was it? I've never fought an alien. None of the others have ever fought a vampire. So it's sort of like he's going to have the one up of like, so say for instance, if they do ever meet again, he could turn around and go, oh yeah, you lot fought this. I got to fight a vampire.
So man, and it makes more sense than anything. Everyone wants Andrew Garfield to get another film, or at least a series or something.
Story wrapped up.
And put him with Morbius.
We could even see an end credits of like maybe picking up from the Sinister Six for that Sonyverse that we didn't get that third film. We got left with Rhino at the end, and then the end credits of them in Underground and Oscorp showing all the costumes, but we didn't get the third film. We were left with nothing. We were left on an open book. So you never know. I reckon
at the end of the day, the Sinister Six have been the Sinister Six have been sort of fixed in the universe, apart from, I mean, the Doctor Octopus in Andrew Garfield's universe is probably still out there because obviously the suit was there. Rhino was nowhere to be seen, so technically he hasn't been dealt with.
Yeah.
Who else was there? You've obviously got the Venom. Maybe, as I said, maybe we're going to get the Sinister Six film, but it's not going to be in the MCU, like everyone thought, it's going to be.
It's going to be in the Sonyverse, yeah.
It's going to be in the Sony one because you think in Sony, who will you have? You'll have the. Who will you have? You'll have Morbius.
You have
Was Morbius part
Vulture.
one? Yeah, Vulture. Because obviously Vulture's now in there.
Some comics, he's Morbius. You know,
So
but then Morbius goes from an
Vulture.
anti-hero to a, Morbius goes from a villain to a hero. He's an anti-hero. So is he really gonna? You've got the Vulture that's rocking about in that universe now.
Yeah.
That's that's second to none. You've got a Venom who originally in some of the comics is in the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
You know, in that universe, there's so many people. We could see a Morbius team up with Spider-Man. You know, we could see some form of team up. I don't think we'll see it. You know, I'm just putting them things out there. That's that's what we do.
You got the Harry Osborn Green Goblin that was at the end. You had what else was in the room? You had the
So you had Vulture, Scorpion as well. So you had Scorpion. But then Scorpion was also, we saw a Scorpion in the MCU that they haven't really bothered with yet as well. Do you remember at the end of the first?
Yeah, it's the guy with the eye in it.
Yes, yeah. So Scorpion, so there's so much that they can do.
Yeah,
that could be unreal for the
Craven
Sonyverse
Hunter
as well.
Oh yeah, you got
See, I reckon we're going to get that in the
MCU.
Yeah, I reckon
that's what we'll get.
Because who the guy's already been confirmed as that, isn't he? Craven Hunter. I'm trying to get his name.
He wanted it, didn't he? Tom Holland went to Sony and Disney about in the third film about
it's
Craven
the guy who
Hunter
plays Pietro, isn't it? Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah. He's already.
I mean, there were certain characters. I think they're going to do I've got a feeling they'll do like a Black Cat one as well, because obviously
we're also getting Madam Web as well, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, he wants to get back with MJ, doesn't he? He wants to get back with MJ and that, and obviously I reckon they're going to throw a sort of a Black Cat. But I still think that they're going to do the Harry Osborn's going to come into the MCU and sort of get with MJ, and then it's going to be a sort of like Peter's got to try and like get himself back in there.
Yeah, but in the film with Andrew Garfield, when they was at the Andrew Garfield film, do you know where the one of the secretaries in Oscorp, her name was
Felicity Jones's character, wasn't it?
Yeah, was who is Black Cat as well. So they did.
Yeah, she was meant to be Black Cat.
They have rumored a Black Cat and linked to Black Cat as such, like spoken of one, like which we know. So you never know. But Morbius has got potential to line really up so much more for us. Yeah, so much more, That could set up another 5 years of films just alone with that film, if they do it right though. And if they want to go down that route, they might have looked at the Spider-Man film that we've just had. I don't think they will, and go, oh, do you know what? We're not going to bother with Spider-Man anymore. And change it up. But Spider-Man is so big in every country you go to, anyone you'll see. Everyone's heard and seen the Spider-Man. If it's, there's so many different Spider-Man variants and of different countries, and this Spider-Man's so big. I just think you always win with a Spider-Man film. I know they said the Andrew Garfield ones wasn't the best, but every Spider-Man film
I thought they were right.
Amazing.
I don't actually think they were that bad. But they were quite good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, every Spider-Man film is great. There's never been a bad Spider-Man film. It might be bad to some people, like The Eternals was bad to some, and Shang-Chi was bad to some, but they're always great films with the characters that you've either grown up reading the comics with or seen TV shows with. I thought The Eternals was set up something so big in the MCU. And same with Shang-Chi with the 5 rings.
I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. Yeah,
the 5 rings are massive. Morbius is going to be good. I'm really looking forward to Morbius. That's up there with me, just behind Doctor Strange, obviously, because my excitement for that is now pushing through the roof, because that film is going to be unreal.
Doctor Strange is just going to have everything in it. I mean, I doubt that there's not going to be anything that's not going to tick off someone's want list.
Yeah, no character left untouched.
No, there's going to be something in there for everyone, even if you're just a casual Marvel fan who just likes a certain character, they're bound to be in it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's going to be very, very good. I'm looking forward to it.
It will be.
Absolutely. Shall we move on to
Moon Knight is next?
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Right.
The one that we know very little.
I'm going to say I haven't really got anything on Moon Knight.
I've just got a basic background really of what it is, who he is, what they are as such, because you understand why I use the word they in terms of thingy. So Mark Spector is where we picked off from the trailer that we think that is Mark Spector.
That's his name.
Okay, so
Yep.
Yeah, that Mark Spector, but that is one of his names. So you just got to understand when I say one of his, because
Hasn't he got like a split personality?
Yeah, so he's got sort of he's got a socioactive identity disorder. That was a tongue twister. So it's also referred to like schizophrenia as well. So you've got Mark Spector as one of his personalities. So he's a former Marine and a CIA operative. You've got another one is a billionaire businessman, Stephen Grant. You've got a taxi cab driver, Jake Lockley, and you've got the suited consultant, which is Mr. Knight. So sort of in the form of Moon Knight with the powers, but in the white suit. You know the old original comics.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Yep. Sort of that original one where he's just the suited white man with the cloak, not the cloak as such, but just the hood, like a balaclava as such. So there is identities. You know, that's what I'm looking forward to. The Disney Plus 6-parters. We know that with Disney Plus, every fourth or fifth episode is the one game changing.
Yeah, it's always the
fourth, isn't it? The fourth or fifth episode is the one that goes right. We've taken this show from a 6, a 5, a 7 to a 9. You know, in terms of.
And then they do it so good at it where it goes from the ones being at like a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
Then it goes to an 8 and 9, and then you think back at the first 3, and then you go, actually, they weren't actually as bad because now you know why they were like that.
Sense.
Then it goes up to an 8, and then the whole series is about an 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Apart from WandaVision, because obviously they just done it the whole way through.
Yeah. What I'm hoping, what I would like to see is if maybe the first episode it takes us through Mark Spector and then through Stephen Grant and Jake Lockley in sort of one episode, if you know what I mean, because his main alias, he always sort of stays under his main alias is Mark Spector, or pretty much, his main alias. And then one episode take us in Moon Knight and where the powers of Khonshu originally come from, and then the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, because we know it's a 6-part, become the story as such. So you have sort of the first couple of episodes explaining the character and letting the people know a bit more, because in terms of what people know, Moon Knight is pretty unheard of to some people. It's not your Captain America or your Winter Soldier or your Bucky or your
Spider-Man.
Sam Wilson or all sort of like your Loki, that all the other, apart from I'd say Hawkeye, where we saw Kate Bishop and then Echo, where we saw Kate Bishop, we saw Echo, and then we saw Kingpin. We've not really had a Disney Plus where we've sort of delved into the unknown, if you will. Everyone's
I didn't even know Moon Knight was a thing until the trailer. I mean, I just remember seeing the leaked picture of him standing there, like we're just looking at the camera, and I was like, "Who the hell's this?" And then I googled it, and I was like, "Oh, it's actually I thought it was just like a leak of like a new villain or something. I never even knew it existed until he got announced."
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was like that as well. I didn't really know nothing about him. Never heard of him. Never.
So he got his powers by falling into a loaded chamber in Egypt. So that was sort of from the power of Khonshu. So Khonshu is a nocturnal god of moon, which would explain, the symbol you've got, the half moon that you've seen on all the promo releases and trailers that we've seen. Yeah. So he's unable to enter the Earth plane as Khonshu himself, supposedly. But I'm certain we've seen in the trailer that Mark Spector's hiding from something. Do you know in the trailer where they're in the
he's in the elevator.
It looks like he's working, and you sort of see that looks like he's hiding from something. So because he's unable to enter the Earth plane, he picks someone to receive his powers, and this person is Mark Spector, who will then become the Moon Knight. His first appearance was in the Werewolf comics,
where he has to be in someone.
Yeah, it's a bit like old from DC Shazam. When he says Shazam and then he turns into the character.
Oh, yeah.
Moon Knight's first appearance was in the Werewolf by Midnight's comics, so which is quite cool to understand, because we are getting a werewolf series soon that we just touched on a minute ago with Morbius. So there is a werewolf series coming. I believe it was only a bit part show on Disney Plus. I know that I've actually seen today that they have actually, what's the word I'm looking for? They have put the date back already. So
For what's that for?
we could see the new Marvel werewolf show that is coming to Disney Plus. It was one of the leaks that we got in the last summer's summary in terms of what we've got next for the Disney Plus. So he was introduced into that series as such. So we can see maybe other characters coming from other shows that set up other stuff, like we've seen with the other Disney Plus shows, like you've had with Hawkeye that has set up Echo with Maya Lopez. We've had so many of these Disney Plus shows that set us up for the next chapter. In terms of where they don't have to spend a big budget on a production film, and where they can just do it on a 6-bit series, which and it does fill in the gap. So maybe
it's good as well, though.
People that we've seen. Yeah,
it's good on them. It's good on Disney's half as well, because as I said, it's like, because he said, didn't he? Because I mean, if everyone goes to see the film, because obviously there's people out there that, like, for instance, like Doctor Strange and that, you have to watch WandaVision to be able to understand like why and all that sort of stuff. So it's a good spin on their half, because it's a case of, you want to know what's happening with them, go and watch the Disney Plus shows. He said, didn't he, from the start, when they said they were starting making Disney Plus shows, he goes, it's not going to be a case of you don't have to watch them. He says, to understand the story, you've got to watch the Disney Plus shows as well.
That's what
I don't think it's a bad deal either, Disney Plus.
No, because, and it's also, once you're hooked on one show, you're going to watch the rest. If you start off, say you're new to Disney Plus and you watch Moon Knight, you go, oh, what else is on the recommended? And once you're hooked onto Loki, and then you're hooked onto WandaVision, and then you got the what have you got? You've got the Sam Wilson and Bucky. Was that the Winter? I forgot what that was called. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Sorry, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then you've got Hawkeye. There's so much stuff that you can watch, and then just by watching them 6-bit parts, you can understand the MCU so much more than you could just by watching, I don't know, like a Captain America or an Iron Man.
Yeah,
they delve into bits of the MCU that no one has seen before, and that's the greatness with Disney Plus. I'm looking forward to Moon Knight because it's the unknown. I'm looking forward to learning.
I like that. I like the fact that I don't know.
You guys,
I actually like the fact that I don't actually know a lot. I actually like the fact that I don't know a lot.
Expectations.
It's because I don't know what I'm expecting.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I don't know any. I can't. Like with Doctor Strange, I can go into Doctor Strange going, I kind of semi-think I know what's going to happen, or I'm like, if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to be annoyed, or I kind of expect that to happen. So if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be annoyed, or I'm going to be sad by it. But whereas this, I'm just like, anything
You're not
can
expected
happen.
to be disappointed, like
anything can happen. And I'm going to be like, oh, actually, cool.
Yeah, because obviously, because if you go into like with Loki and that, there was a lot of people that like thought, oh yeah, the Loki's going to be him causing mischief and everything like that. So when obviously he didn't do much of it, people were like, oh well, that's not him. Blah blah. But with Moon Knight, if you don't know anything about him, you're going to go in there and whatever he does, you're just going to be like, all right, cool, because you don't know anything about him.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is good. Because hopefully they'll do more characters like that. Because there's a lot of, as I said, I was the same with Loki. I mean, I went in there thinking, oh, yeah, he's going to do this, that, and the other. And when he didn't do it, I was a bit like, oh, well, that's not really like the Loki that we know in that. But obviously, with Moon Knight, I'm not going in thinking, oh, yeah, he should be like this, that, and the other, because I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a bit like Morbius as
I
well.
Think they should do more characters like that.
I don't know loads about Morbius either. So Morbius is kind of the same.
I think
it's the same with Eternals. Like Eternals was the
the
same. When Eternals come out, I was like, I don't know nothing about these.
But we're getting into the area of the MCU where the unknown is becoming great, because a lot of people don't know about Miss Marvel, they don't know about She-Hulk, and that then gives more grip for Disney and Kevin Feige and everyone to go, well, we're just going to keep pumping these shows out to get more characters, to build more merchandise, to build more brands. Yeah. And there's more characters that everyone loves, that we love, and we can come and talk to you guys about it. We could talk together. And it's just more content. And like, that's what we love, is just able to give people content. So like I'm all for bringing out shows of characters that haven't even been named before in any films.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree.
just to get them out. So we're getting the Moon Knight on the 30th of March. So, you know, what's that? In about 3-4 weeks' time.
Three,
So
4 weeks.
when, so that is, it's going to be 6 parts and it's 40 to 50 minutes, a standard procedure. So yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to it. I think because it is the unknown. I think it's going to be, you know, I know that the Super Bowl trailers got sort of, what's the word? That because that was rumored that got trailered in the Super Bowl, but I think it sort of got overshadowed by the Doctor Strange, and it was hard not to, obviously, because Strange was so immense and so unreal and so unlike anything we've seen before in a Marvel film. That Morbius did get put to the side a little bit, but now everyone's had a time to look at them. Morbius looks insane. Not Morbius, sorry. Moon Knight looks insane, and it does look insane. You know, the graphics, the CGI, the stuff that we've seen.
It looks quite dark as well.
It looks darker, yeah.
And-
It looks quite dark.
And it is
They're all dark. All 3 films that are all 2 films in the series.
It's all dark.
Are all dark.
Yeah.
Which
So
it's nice to,
End of Eternals.
it's nice to
with,
see Disney
and End of
do
Eternals
that.
with Blade talking. Dark.
Yeah, dark. Blade, vampire, another vampire, dark. Dane Whitman, the Black Knight, comes from a dark background.
Yeah.
You know, they said Doctor Strange will be the first horror-esque MCU film, and so far we are seeing so much stuff with the Darkhold and all the enemies and all the villains and all the dark. You know, we've had a bit of darkness with WandaVision, with Agatha. You know, we are getting such dark people coming
It just
to the
proves
MCU,
how
and it
dark
looks
and
so good.
yeah, it just proves that how dark they can actually make a show. Because some of the stuff, like even on that What If, I mean, like that zombie episode, when I was watching it, I sat there and thought there is no way that you're going to see like people getting ripped to shreds on a Disney show, and then you literally sitting there like seeing zombies getting their heads cut off and that, and you sit there and think this is what you want. And so it just proves that you can make it violent and dark.
Zombies. We are getting them zombies, aren't we, on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this year or next year. I remember when we was looking at the summary a couple of weeks back that
It's animated
we are
as
getting
well.
zombies. You know,
But as I said, it just shows that you can be scary and you can be violent with these films, but you don't do it in a way where it's literally like, as I said, like loads of blood, guts, and gore and everything. But it's nice to see that they can go down a dark path with still making it like kids can watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think
with
Doctor Strange they should bring out 2 versions of it. Bring like a 15 version out and a kids version of it.
See, I can't see that. I just think because they're just going to want everyone to watch that one, get the gross income from the one film.
Oh yeah, and then maybe bring out another one in like extended cut.
Instead of dispersing it between 2 films and going, well, we only made XYZ from this film and not this from this film. When I just think that's too much of a risk. As much as, you know, not.
I mean, it worked with the Deadpool, didn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But then
they did that with the. I think with Deadpool, I think, as I say, I think that's why they tested the waters, because they brought out the second Deadpool, and then they brought out the 12 rated version of it with like all the swearing and all that cut out of it to see how it would work. And a lot of reviews were saying that apparently it still worked, even when they had all the language and all the violence like cut down to a minimum. They said it did still work, which is good because it said then it just shows that they can make these sort of like adult-ish films with a bit of like
no, I agree.
I agree. Yeah.
Make them kid friendly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, no, there is.
There's so much going on.
I'm just looking forward. I'm looking forward to the next. I know we said it last week, and if you haven't seen last week's episode, please go and check last week's. You can find it on our Twitter or on
on Apple Podcast.
We'll link it on the YouTube. We'll link it to the bottom of the YouTube page. We'll just put episode 1 or.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Go back and watch the last one.
Leave a comment as well, like what you're looking forward to.
That's the best thing. Just comment below and we'll always reply.
Yeah.
You know,
is that a wrap on today's episode?
Yeah, we can wrap it up if you want
to. Yeah. So wrap it up, we'll wrap it up. Please check all our other social media forms of platform: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Like Dean just said, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Just give us a like, a follow. Even in the comments, if you're on YouTube, just tell us what you want to see more. I'm sure if we get people interacting, we can see what stuff that you want to see. You know, it might not be any Marvel films coming out in the next 2 months. It might be something that's coming out in a couple of, in the next half year. So just let us know what you want to hear from us, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we could do like shout outs and all stuff like that. Shout outs like the top comment of the week, or any like questions, or ask us questions, and then we can always ask the question to the group, and then to the three of us, and then we'll answer your questions out on the live on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got to follow.
Go on, Dean. No, go on, mate.
As I say, you got to follow us on our social medias, because that's where we'll be doing the giveaways, and they will be starting soon, probably middle of March. End of March,
I think we said mid-March, didn't we? Yeah.
End of March, middle of March time. I'm going to try and
maybe do it around Morbius in that time.
With Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, Morbius, yeah.
We're going to go for there, so you've got to follow on the socials to get into that. But, yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a wrap. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
All right, see you later. Guys. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.